Hey, my name is Jimmy McCauley, and I'm here in Northeast Ohio. I'm actually on a job site. I'm painting, rehabbing a house for a friend of mine, and I'm posting this video, and I think I'm going to call it Insider 411 Controlled Chaos, the World of Gangstalking. And I'm hoping that I can reach as many people as possible, because what's happening to me could very well happen to you. I'm 54 years old, and I just did 14 years at a Supermax facility down in West Virginia. I was in prison for robbing a drug dealer, and in the last 10 years I was there, I was actually in solitary isolation. I was in the hole, and there's a lot to it, but suffice it to say, it was an extremely difficult thing to do. And if you can imagine being locked up in a space the size of, say, your bathroom for 10 years by yourself, no contact with anybody, yeah, it is fucking harrowing. And it was during that time that I made some life decisions to stop being the fucking scoundrel that I was, and actually attempt to regroup and impose some kind of moral order on my life and live out the remainder of my days trying to be as good a dude as I possibly could. And that was my intent when I left last March, and I'm still holding fast to that, and I'm trying my best to be as good a dude as I possibly can. Well, this set of events that have taken place since March, it is now November, I think 7th or something like that. It's a Saturday, and I'm being gang stalked. I'm not really sure why. And I don't really suppose at this stage in the game, the whys are all that important. What is important is that I should not tap out on this thing, because these guys are giving me the business, and they have pretty much invaded every aspect of my life. They have isolated me socially. They've driven wedges between me and all my family members, except my dad, who's steadfast and true and always has been. But he's an exceptional human being. My sister and I, who I thought nothing could ever do anything to put space between us, well, this thing has, and it fucking sucks. It's a terrible, terrible thing, and I hope it's not happening to you. And if it is, I mean, hopefully some of what I'm telling you here today will be of assistance to you, because I just want to do something to A, expose these motherfuckers, and B, try to help someone that is suffering through this thing like I am. Let's see, I suppose it was about 3 or 4 months ago that I noticed that I was being surveilled. And to me, it wasn't all that unusual, given the notoriety that is attached to my persona in this region. I used to be a criminal. I was a bad guy. I was fucking, in every true sense of the word, I was a fucking scoundrel. I was doing armed robberies, and fucking, I didn't give a fuck about anything or anyone, didn't care who I hurt, that sort of thing. But just let me say this, I never hurt no kids, and I never hurt and victimized no women. I never rape and fucking with kids and stuff has never ever been a part of who I am or what I am. It was more hunting within my own circle type of criminal element. I wasn't out robbing good good citizenry. I was robbing fucking drug dealers, you know? It was a pretty risky motherfucking career. But at the time, I gave a fuck, and I was brazen as shit, and I thought I was bad as fuck, and it really reinforced this whole notion that I was a bad guy, because I was. But I'm not now. I'm not involved in any type of criminal endeavors, aside from, you know, recreational drug use, and I'm on a Suboxone maintenance program, so there's that. And what's happening? But getting back to being surveilled, okay? I noticed that I was being surveilled, and they were fairly slick at it. I mean, these weren't rank amateurs. This wasn't like just somebody watching. This was like, you know, this was surveillance, and I picked up on it really early, and I noticed that as time passed, that like this was a 24/7 motherfucking type of shit. This wasn't like, state police don't fuck around on that level. They might surveil you for a couple of days, but if they're gonna move on you, they do so, or they move on to like, you know, something else. And like the vehicles and stuff these people were driving were brand fucking new, and there were like a lot of older people, like retirees, and there were moms, students, people with a lot of downtime, you know, and these as they became aware of my awareness of them, they began to get more flagrant, more aggressive, and they started fucking with me hard. They started like dirtying up my name, and going into stores and stuff that, you know, I'd go to buy smokes or beer or whatever, and tell them like fucking, I'm not really sure what they were telling them, but when I would like interact with whomever it was working, you could tell something was up. And as time, you know, as this thing progressed, because it's a progressive type of thing, believe me, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. But as it progressed, they like, you know, went from like telling them I was like a domestic terrorist or a fucking a heinous murderer to like a pedophile and a fucking Jeffrey Dahmer type of shit. And just let me state for the record here, I'm neither, okay? So I'm like really into the outdoors, and for obvious reasons, I spend as much time outside as I possibly can. And I fish a lot, and I love fishing, and I'm fortunate to live in Northeast Ohio, dude. We have like rivers and lakes and ponds that are just chock full of everything from bluegills to fucking muskie. And this spring I've caught my first muskie, and it was bad as shit. It's like if you've never seen a muskie, you really gotta check them out, because they are really mean looking, and they're fucking cool looking, and they look like a fucking something off of Jurassic Park, you know, and they're fucking very, very fucking cool. And but yeah, they started like following me into the woods. And they started like, for instance, I went to this remote spot, and I was fishing, and they start like chucking rocks into the water, and I can hear them moving in on me, and I'm trying to give you a thumbnail sketch here of like the types of harassment that they do, like petty thievery, steal shit, key up my car, fuck with my shit. Like at my sister's, where I had initially paroled, there was a path from the fucking woods and the next door neighbor. You could see, like, if you come out early in the morning where the dew had settled, like where they had like converged on my room, okay, and unbeknownst to me, had actually been video that had been filming me in my room. Like for instance, they got footage of me beating off and shit, and and they fucking displayed this footage at this place called the Nelson Ledges Quarry Park, which is like an adult fucking playground where people like openly do drugs and fucking girls go topless and fucking they have like festivals and shit. Like a really awesome place to go. Well, they fucking like dirtied it up and like fucking had me ran out of it. Look, man, that's it. Stole my shit. And let me, I just like want to emphasize that again and again and again. These guys are fucking thieves, okay? And they're fucking, they're flagrantly breaking the law. So, I mean, you know, if they were working under this premise that like, they're doing it for the good of the community or whatever, well, though actually what they're doing is they're engaged in a felony, and they're actually the criminals now because they're fucking engaged in a felonious act against someone and like trampling all over my motherfucking constitutional rights in the process. Now, these are the types of people that, if someone were to do the same thing to them, would be screaming to the high heavens of, you know, about their constitutional rights and the sacredness of the whole shit. But that speaks to the hypocrisy of this, because I've done some digging on it, and essentially what I've learned is that there's a national organization with an agenda, and that agenda is funded by the federal government. Big surprise, and some of these larger corporations like Amazon and Walmart. Walmart, dude, is fucking they're home territory to them, dude, and they ride on me in Walmart. So I go as much as I fucking possibly can. And they would go in there and like say, they would tip them off and be like, hey, this guy's a shoplifter or whatever. And dude, not have blue vests all around me. But the fact is I'm not a shoplifter. I haven't stole one fucking thing, not so much as a stick of gum since I've been out. Nothing. And everything that I get, I buy with money that I earned, okay? Or I don't get it. And, but yeah, they make you definitely feel super unwelcome there. And like, by the time you leave a fucking Walmart, everybody in there is fucking looking at you like you got fucking leprosy, and just sort of aghast type of shit. But I've learned through some of the research that I've done on these people that what they do is they've got a centralized command, and that command is resourced or bankrolled through federal government and their subcontracts and all that bullshit, and these big corporations, and they like pour all these funds into it, and they hire this group of professionals. Some of them are ex-Intel guys, some of them FBI, and they come in and they marry up like how to like the psychology of the thing, and like how to like just how to force or pressure you into making bad decisions. The bad decisions that ultimately lead to your death or your institutionalization. And that's their end goal. That's what they're shooting for, and that's what they're gonna have. And apparently it's a lifelong thing. I mean, you're not gonna get out from under it. I mean, look, man, I'm talking like the hospitals, cops, firemen, all these things that are like engineered to like look after the people, by the people, for the people type of shit, is suddenly like turned against you. And essentially what they're doing is they're passing judgment on you, and they're passing judgment on your fucking character, and they're like deemed you unfit to live in their new world order. And I noticed that they recruited real heavily among these people who were like fucking, you know, fervent Trump people, and but that's just it. See, it's and like this itching thing, dude. They fucking sprayed something on my fucking clothes, and this is like the third or fourth fucking time I've had to change shirts today. And to me, it's just, you know, like this constantly fucking with shit. I should grab another shirt. This constantly fucking with this shit it's just to drive me crazy. Like this itching, crazy fucking itching. I'll grab a shirt. I'll be right back. So yeah. So what it is they are basically putting pressure on you with none of them put their hands on me. And I've called them out like numerous times, yo. I'm fucking like tired of this fucking shit. Come out and fucking throwing rocks at me from the dark like I'm pulling my mom's eyes and shit. And somebody's over there and hiding in the shadows, chucking rocks at me. I'm like, it's that sort of thing. It's like it's almost like childish or childlike in its approach, and it's extremely frustrating, and it's extremely difficult to grapple with when you consider the fact that I just fucking left this little isolated box for all those years. And I'm not just dropped into the world, but I'm dropped into this fucking cauldron where these people are like, trying to keep me jammed down in there with these big fucking forks, like hell. I actually thought that I'd fucking died and like this was some kind of afterlife karmic retribution or something for all the dirt I ever did. But I have to say that all the dirt that I ever did and everything, all the bad shit that I did, and we're just talking about, again, the bad shit that I'm talking about is the shit I put my family through, and some of the more personal. Look, man, I came to terms with myself, and I atoned, and furthermore, under the rules that we have writ large in this country about like fucking, this is the price that you pay for this, doing the crime, doing the time. 14 years for robbing a drug dealer, to me, is paid up. And then some. Because the drug dealer wasn't hurt. And not even beaten, But I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, at that time in my life, that was, you're a part of you're an outlaw, okay? You're fucking doing things that are against the law. So don't be surprised if a bad guy comes along and takes your shit, and then you're gonna call upon the fucking cops, and they're gonna come to your aid and penalize me to the max. To me, that's kind of fucked up. But oh shit, I'm going past 15 minutes. Stop.